Good evening, everybody. How are you this evening? Watching the football or joining me? What do you prefer? Anybody that's watching this in the future, tonight is the semi-final of the Euros. England are playing Denmark. It is half-time and it is currently 1-1. And for anyone that doesn't care about football, then who cares what I just said? I hope everybody's well. If you're with us, say hi. Lisa Lewis is in the house. Hello, Lisa. Tony Candy says, can't wait for this. That was at 10 to 10 this morning. Cowboy hour, 10 to 10. That's a bad joke, isn't it? That's a dad joke right there. So, guys, Wednesday Night Live. You know, normally me and Paul. What's happening, Paul? Where are you? He's watching the football. I've given him a reprieve. Paul is a big football fan. So I said to him, listen, mate, don't worry about it. If you can join us later, go for it. If you can't, don't worry. So it will all depend on how well the football goes, depending on maybe how many sherries he's had. No, he's on medication, so he can't have any sherries, I don't think. Maybe not. I don't know. Karen J, good to have you with us, Karen. So tonight it's me again. I think this is 3 in a row from me without Paul, potentially. But so Paul is still in the Paul and the James show, but just me subbing for Paul's bad back, and then a reprieve for an unusual event for England to be so far in a major football tournament. So tonight I wanted to share with you guys a nostalgic haircut for me. When I was a young apprentice and I had high hopes and aspirations of working in London, I went to do my first ever trades test. And hi, Sandy. And I knew that I needed to pull something out of the bag, a little bit, extra, bit more than the normal standard stuff that we see all day, every day. And I taught myself effectively how to do a asymmetric haircut, short asymmetric, to show off a bit, to get the job. Because the company only asked for one haircut in the trade test because they were going to retrain me. So it was fine. I just had to do one good haircut and that would have been enough. So this is that haircut. And as I say, it's a bit of a random one, but it holds a dear place in my heart. And it's a haircut that I, spent a lot of time cutting at one point when the Saturdays, I don't know if anybody remembers the band The Saturdays, Frankie with the short asymmetric jobby. Well, it's Frankie Stanford style, but I did it in my trade test before the Saturdays, but it's that kind of thing. Juan, hello. Sandra Harwood, hello. Amal, hello. Thank you for joining the live. First time at the live, Amal. Always see you in the comment section, but I don't know if I've ever seen you here live. So welcome. So I'm not going to talk too much more about this haircut. Just very fond of this haircut. Really great, simple haircut. Very effective. Now, we've got a bit of a fringe going on here, which is fine. We've got Alexis. Hello. Aloha here. Lisa. So happy to be here. Good stuff, Lisa. Well, welcome. If you're new to the live on a Wednesday night, then just say new. Love to know who's new. Big fan of the newbies. Big fan of those people who turn up week in, week out. You stalwarts, the ones that really, really stick in the grind. Big fan of anybody who just joins the live. So if you're a fan, hit the thumbs up button down below. Helps the videos. New. Lots of news. Hello, Christos. Not new, but a valuable member of the Wednesday Night Lives. Gabsy, not new. Welcome back, Gabsy. So we've got 4 news there. That's pretty cool. So welcome. So each and every Wednesday night, myself and a colleague of mine who's not with us right now, not new, Sandra Harwood. Sandra Harwood is one of the hardcore bunch who are always here. Thank you very much, Sandra. Much appreciated. So every Wednesday night, for anybody that's new, we jump on It alternates between my channel and my good friend Paul Watts Hair, and we do a conglomeration of cut colours and Q&As. So hopefully, old Deborah Harwood, you're not old Deborah, you're just one of the originals, which is great. If you're an original, then put original, or you could put OG, the original OG. If you're an OG, put OG. So what have we got? Debbie Harwood, hey, what's up? Lisa, I've been viewing so many of your tutorials. I feel like we're old friends now. Fantastic. We are old friends. You've been watching. Thank you very much, Lisa. It's much appreciated. Robin L, here in the US. Hello, Robin. Don't believe I've seen you on here before, so you must be new too. Welcome. Sandy, OG. Good work, Sandy. Oh, Lisa Lewis, OG. Gabsy, OG. You can have an OG, Gabsy. You've been in many of these lives. Well done. How is Paul doing? So Paul's back is still broken, and not literally broken. For anybody that doesn't know Paul, he's got a bad back. He's done something to his lower back, and he's having a bit of a mare with it. He's on lots of medication, but he's having a reprieve tonight. I've let him off because it's the Euro quarterfinals against Denmark here in Wembley. It's 1-0. No, it's 1-1, half time. We didn't play that well in the first half. I'm hoping for something more spectacular in the second half. I won't be watching it. Maybe Paul will join us right at the end of this live. Maybe. Depends how long this one goes on for. But yes, so I said to Paul, listen, you're a big football fan. Paul used to play, seriously, football. Wanted to be a professional. Played for a decent side. So, I thought, so I said to him, look, I'll do the live tonight, Paul. I've done 3 in a row because of his back and all that jazz. I'll take over. Don't worry about it. It's fine. And so, yeah, it's all good. So yes, good stuff. What we got here then? Sandra Harwood, and Mondays. I never work these days, just train. Original. Good word, Sandra. Elliot Long, new to Wednesdays. Question, why? Gone mad. Let's start again. Why do my scissors sometimes bend the hair when using inverted ergonomic grip, but will cut thicker sections when I hold them traditionally? So when you say inverted, do you mean like with the thumb inside like that, like a backwards thumb grip, or like that? Like, so let's say grip 1. If you want to write this down so I can get it right, grip 1 inverted like that. Grip 2 with the thumb just resting on the top of the thumb rest. Let's think. What else can we have? Inverted maybe could be like that, where your hand is more forward. Let's call that grip 3. Or if it's another grip, then just put grip 4. And I have the answer pretty much, but I'd just like to know how you're holding them. Good stuff. Thanks for your question. Amal's not new, but I watch it later every week. Perfect. Good stuff. Second half watching footy. 1 and 2 sometimes. Cool. So what that is to do with, Elliot, is that most blades are, one's convex and one's concave. So one curves in, one curves out. As the blades pass, that's the cutting point. The scissors are specifically designed for a reasonable amount of downward pressure. So if we're not applying a lot of downward pressure with our grip, the blades are not traveling past each other quite as succinctly as they are meant to. Now, if this problem has just occurred, there's a good chance that the balance of your scissors has become a bit skewed and they need rebalancing. That can come about for lots and lots of reasons. But if it's something that you've had from the moment you had the scissors, some scissors, when you have kind of these kind of crane style grips, need to be a little bit, the sections need to be smaller, or like very small, or what was I going to say? The sections need to be smaller, or they're not really designed to be held in these kind of crane styles. They're kind of more of a traditional, cutting scissor, dependent on the kind of ergonomics of the scissor. So hopefully that helps. If it doesn't, let me know, and it's all good. Jackie Lamore, welcome. I got thrown out my own studio then. Sorry about that. Don't be sorry you're late, Jackie. Thanks for joining us. Thumb under the scissor. So that one. Thumb under the scissor. Yeah, I mean, that not many scissors are designed for these Eastern grip styles. You know, they look great. They work great. They keep your wrist very straight. But there's not many scissors that are ergonomically designed to cut powerfully and have a Eastern style grip. So hopefully that helps. Just give me 2 seconds, guys. I have just realized something. I'm just going to switch over to my Ethernet. Yeah, for some reason, my browser crashed and I got thrown out of my own live, which is interesting. Okay, good stuff. Right then. Drop that away. Put that back up there. Great. Right then. So on with the haircut. We've talked enough. As I said, nostalgic haircut for me. A nice, easy haircut and one that looks super effective. Thank you, James. What's your Instagram? So my Instagram is at the Life of Hair 1. At the Life of Hair 1. I had the Life of Hair YouTube channel before I had the Instagram, and at the Life of Hair, but just the Life of Hair was taken. So I'm at the Life of Hair 1. So we're going to take a section through the parietal ridge. The parietal ridge is the bone at the top of the ear. Now, if we want to find the parietal ridge, we simply take our comb, place it on the head, where it touches down. That is the center of our parietal ridge. So we just need to take our section through that point. Nice and easy. Lovely stuff. Spin around. Right then, so guys, don't forget, bring your questions in. If you have anything you would like to know about the haircut or any questions about anything at all, just fire away. I love a question. Questions, even if you think it's a silly question, it's never a silly question. Someone else might be thinking it and they don't want to ask it. So I'd prefer it if you were responsible and brave and asked those silly questions. For those people that maybe didn't want to ask those silly questions or thought it was a silly question, didn't want to look silly, there's no such thing, guys. Seriously, it is so important to, take away as much as you can from any time that you invest your time into learning something. So I appreciate everyone for being here, and I really want you to take away everything you can from today. So let's just zoom in a little to my lady. There we go. Right then, she looks nice and in focus. So nice, simple pre-section. Show you the pre-section on this one. Through the parietal ridge, down through the top of the occipital bone to the middle of the back of the ear. Simples. Who we got here? Good. We've got Christiana. Nice to meet you, Christina. Gabsy, what cut is this? I think I missed it. Short asymmetric, Gabsy. So short asymmetric, I was saying in the beginning, is a very nostalgic haircut for me. This was the first. This was the haircut. I got my first job in London, doing this haircut, and it was like one of those moments. It changed my life, and I trained myself just to cut this hair to get the job. So it was a lot of time, effort, and energy put into just learning one haircut, but I only needed to do one haircut to get the job. So because the company that I went to were going to retrain me, so they just needed to do one haircut. That they thought that they saw enough potential to put me on their training program and train me and I did it with this, so that was good. Jackie Lamore, James, I've started doing a root smudge on my blondes with 9N on the root and 10N on the ends. Absolute game changer. Turns out beautiful, blends natural hair and pre-lightened hair beautifully. Absolutely, Jackie. 10 out of 10. I saw it on one of your videos. Perfect, Jackie. Thank you very much. Yeah, exactly. Just drop the roots down. They don't look darker, do they? It just makes it all look a lot more expensive hair. We all want to produce expensive hair, don't we? So right, let's get some light on this situation. So our very first section, I'll just show you what we're going to do, is that we're going to take our first section and it's going to just mirror the hairline. I mean, the hairline on this particular instance is pretty square relative to the old head shape. Most people's hairline is not like that, but we're going to go with it because that's where it is. So we're going to comb our hair slightly back diagonally, just a little bit. We're going to take our section to mirror our hairline. Take our section, we hold down the hair with our thumb, and we pick up the hair in front of the section, just like so. Now, what we've got to be aware of is the head position. My lady's head here is tilted over. So if I cut a square line, okay, what's going to happen, guys? Tell me in the comment section. If I cut a square line now, what's going to happen? Pull the hair out, cut a square line. Her head's tilted over. What shape am I going to create? Graduation. Triangular on top. Good. Both. Only dependent if I connect in. If I connect in this side, I'm going to create bottom will be longer. Different length at the top to the bottom. Exactly. So it will be longer at the top. Oh, you can't see that. That would be good if I turned it around, wouldn't it? Put your head up. There we go. Right, so we've got our top section. Still can't see that very well, can you? Right then. Let's spin it right around. There we go. That'll do it. Right, top section, longer. Bottom section, shorter. Graduation. So when the head's over, you cut a square line, you graduate it. Okay? It might not be a very steep graduation, but by all definitions of graduation, it's a graduation. So our next section, roughly 1 centimetre behind the first one. Push our hair back, pin it down, pick our section up, pull it straight out from the head shape. Best way to do this is to comb from the front back, just like that. Clear guide from the front section, follow the guideline. Now it will only be slightly graduated because the head is only slightly tilted over on that very first section. The head is actually square now, but because I've got my guide in there, I can just follow my guide. But it is easier if you're doing this yourself on a client, for instance, sorry about that, bit of a whip pan, the old camera tripod got a bit sticky there. It is easier if you're doing this yourself to tilt the head over. So your body position, your wrist position is in a much more comfortable position, because obviously when you're cutting graduation, your wrist angle can get a bit tight here, and this can shorten our careers substantially, guys. So really think about making your life easier. Pulling the hair straight out from the head shape with the head over. Remember, she's going to have her hair cut for 60, 90 minutes, 45 minutes, however long it takes you, every however many weeks. You're going to be doing this day in, day out. So try and utilize better body positions for you. It may not be the most ideal head position for the client temporarily, but providing they haven't got a neck problem that would prevent them from holding their head like that, I would be very, very well, I highly recommend that you got your clients to tilt their head over. Now, when we get to this section here that I've just taken, which kind of diagonal section comes to pretty much the top of the ear, what changes dramatically at this section, right? It's a dramatic change in the head. What is it? Let me know in the comments section. So there's going to be a big change. I'm sort of showing you it. I'm alluding to that big change. The ear, density, good stuff, Gabsy. Lisa, lovely. Density, great, perfect. Density, less hair. What can we do to build up more hair where we're going to lose density? What can we do to build up more hair where we're going to lose density? I'll keep doing it. And then if one of you puts the answer in, then great. And if you don't, I'll tell you. Drop the elevation. Hi, Mozama. Yeah, you can drop the elevation. That would be only true if we were working with a horizontal buildup of weight, like a graduated bob. But we're working with a vertical buildup of weight, so we can't drop our section. Christos has come in. We over direct. That's a goal for Christos. We over direct. So we over direct. Oh, Gabsy came in first. So sorry, Gabsy. You scored first. Football theme tonight, as you can tell. So we over direct. Gabsy, Christos, bang on the money. We pull the hair from out of its natural fall in the opposite direction to the way we want to build up the weight. Okay. So in this particular instance, I'm pulling the hair from here to the section that I cut that came to the top of the ear. Now, if I didn't do that, this line at the front here would jump up. It already jumps up a bit because of the hairs lower at the front, but it would jump up dramatically up, following the perimeter shape around. So good stuff, everybody that got that right. Bob's your uncle. Something new for everybody else that wasn't sure. And it's okay not to be sure, and it's okay to put down something that wasn't the answer I was looking for, because any answer is an answer, even if you said no. Sorry, Christos, you can know the point. Gabsy, you're being too kind. You've been too kind. You were in like Flynn, Gabsy. You put two answers in. Right, okay. So it's okay not to be sure, because even no is an answer. You know, like when you're at school, you know, and someone says, you know, what's 25 divided by 5? And you say, I don't know. And the teacher says, that's not an answer. It is an answer. You've just said, I don't know. So it's okay not to know. You know, 25 divided by 5. If you don't know, you don't know. It's all right. Don't worry about it. We've all been trained to, you know, as we go through school, to think and feel like that's not a valuable answer, but it is for me. Mozama, don't worry about joining late, and we are doing a short asymmetric graduation. Yeah, cool. Right then, so we've cut a few sections now. We need to sort of cross-check. I can see the shapes building up nicely. I've got a line of graduation that's curving down, but we've been cutting vertically. So in which direction do we cross-check? In which direction do we cross-check? Chuck it in the comment section while I do it. I'm going to give you the answer here because I'm just going to get on with it. What we want to be checking for is any finger marks, anything that is more than just the dust. That would be considered just the dust. So we just take that off. Beautiful. And just work your way through sections and make sure that you don't. Just make sure that you don't cut any sections that are not in the shape that you intended them to be in the first place. So with cutting graduation, don't pull this hair up here to cross-check it. You cross-check it at the angle at which you cut it at. Yes? So that's really, really important. Sometimes I see people cross-checking a shape all the way up here. The hair was never intended to live there. So we cut it in the shape, we check it in the shape we cut it in. Shape's building nicely towards the back here. Okay? Horizontal, horizontal, horizontal. Yes. Good job, guys. Perfect. So we check in horizontal if we cut vertically, and if we cut vertically, we check horizontally. I'm trying to think about where I want to be for you guys to see, so maybe I'll come around this side now. Good stuff. Sandy, does it take anyone else less than 60 minutes for a haircut, including wash and blow dry? There are girls in my salon that can do it in 30. It stresses me out. I can be quite a fast hair cutter, not a fast colorist. I can be quite a fast hair cutter. Not 30 minutes, though. I mean, I like to take 60 minutes, but it depends on the haircut. But yeah, I mean, I like to take 60 minutes because I like to cross-check and chit-chat and all that jazz. But here's an interesting one for anybody that, interestingly, Sandy says it stresses her out. And we talked about this on Instagram recently. No, it was on Facebook Messenger, Sandy and I. If it's up to them, isn't it? Never let what other people do, affect how you feel about your work. Your work is your work. And at the end of the day, if it takes you longer, it takes you longer, and that's all right. So as we travel now through towards the outline at the back, but out of interest, I would like to know, can anybody cut hair in 30 minutes or does it take you longer? And just out of interest. So when we're traveling through now, we're going to pull the hair straight out from the hairline, okay? Straight out from the hairline, straight out, and cut a square line, all right? So take our next section, 1 centimeter, just like so. We're going to pull this hair following the weight that we built up, but we're going to pull it onto the first section that we just cut. So this section that runs through here, when we pick the hair up, we're going to pull it onto that section. Just like that. Got a clear guide from underneath just there, and we're going to cut a line that travels down towards the nape area that is over directed onto the first section. I really should start bringing a drink to these lives. Depends. Cannot blow dry and cut in that time. It's the tortoise and hare analogy comes to mind. Fast isn't always better. Nice one, Lisa. Amen, sister. Amen. I bet you my last pound or dollar that if I cross-checked some of those 30-minute haircuts, I would find a multitude of hidden bits and pieces. No doubt. Unless they're using very specific techniques to cut the time down, which I, don't talk about that much, but there are techniques you can use to cut the time down significantly. But even if you do those techniques, it's still not a 30-minute haircut. So I would bet my last pound that there's stuff in there that's hidden. With cut and use, Jackie says, with cut and blow dry, use around 60 minutes. I used to do, ladies, took me 20 minutes. to do their hair, but she's only seen me that today and allowed 90 minutes for the appointment. As always, love a wee chat. Oh, that's nice. Nice to have a chat to your clients, isn't it? Right then, so that section that we took down diagonally, we've pulled it on to the first section. So our next section, we take a vertical section, just like this. Oh, you can't see that section because there's hair there. Vertical section, straight down, like that. Perfect. Take that section, and we're pulling that section onto the first section at the nape, okay? Make sure we've got a clear visual on our previous section and make sure that we're following the head shape down into the nape area. What have we got here then? I'm going to say Niha. Not sure. Sorry if I've just murdered your name. It's not personal, just dyslexic. Okay. I remember being newly qualified stylist cutting a child's hair. The child was standing. She was so long. She fainted. Oh no, bless her. Shall I tell you something about that? Actually, you can't see my feet. Let me just zoom out. Hold on a minute. So when you're getting a client to stand, right, make sure that their feet, still can't see them. Anyway, make sure their feet are slightly wider than their shoulders, okay? This gives the client more stability when they're standing for long periods of time, because if you get someone to stand with their feet narrower than their shoulders, okay, this is a form of like oppression, if you like, some like torture. You know, some people use it as a form of torture. You know, because it's very, very stressful on the body because you have to use your muscles. So if you're asked to stand still for a very long period of time, completely still, with your feet narrower than your shoulders, okay, it can be very, very stressful. So if you ever get anyone to stand up, make sure that their feet are wider than their shoulders. So like when you're cutting hair yourselves, for instance, make sure that your stance is wider than your shoulders and you've got a slight flex in your knee, just a little bend, you know, so you've got a little bit more stability, and body posture is much better when you do that. Hot tip for getting people to stand up for long periods of time. Right, zoom back in. So we're building up a nice little shape now, just coming down into the nape area. Next section, diagonal backward section. Now, what we're going to do is take this section and we're going to pull the hair straight out from the head shape. Okay. We've got a guide from our previous just there, and we're going to cut a square line that is our finger angle is aiming down towards the opposite side of our head. So our finger angle is coming across like that now, okay? Just like that. Just like that. I feel like Tommy Cooper when I say that, for anybody that's old enough to remember Tommy Cooper. So we've now got, in fact, actually, let's just get rid of that hair so I can show you. We're starting to build up a really pretty weight line that's traveling down into this opposite side now. So that weight line is concurrent from the front all the way down to the opposite side. Really, really pretty shape. Really love this shape a lot. Cut a lot of these shapes at one point in the salon. Don't cut it so much at the moment, but it will come back for sure. So we're just cutting a nice clean line. And remember, we're working around the head shape. Our finger angle is pointing towards the corner outline here. Question here. That is correct, Gabsy. So why did we change the over direction so it didn't get too long? So if we kept over directing to that previous section, that first section, we would quickly run out of hair to this point. So we just, at the point at which we cut the first three sections over directed to the outline, so we cut the first three sections over directed to the outline, at that point, we then needed to switch to pivot our section further round so that we could continue on and taking each subsequent section now and over directing it to the previous. And what that means is, so I've just taken a section here like that, straight down diagonal, okay, to the corner. This next section, I'm going to pull this section over to that section. And just follow the line around the head shape. So we've got this weight line now traveling down into this bottom corner. Mozama says that means you're following the traveling guideline. Yes, exactly. So each guideline is the previous guideline. So we haven't got one fixed stationary guideline. We've got a new guideline each time, and it's from the previous section. Finger angle remains the same. So our finger angle is fixed, aiming towards this bottom corner on the opposite side. Did you remember to bring a drink this week? No, I didn't, Lisa, and I'm regretting it now. It's okay, though. It's fine. I soldiered on last week, Lisa. I'm going to do it again this week. So eventually what we've ended up with is this first section is over directed to there, and then each subsequent section will be pulled back, but our finger angle is still pointing towards here. Okay. Why did you use a diagonal line for sectioning rather than a vertical? This line here, Gabsy. You on about this line here? If yes, just put yes, and then I'll explain. When you comb the hair, that line. Okay, so the diagonal line here, like that. And then I think the finger angle going in towards the so that's to encourage the over direction. Vertical lines tend to create, what we're creating is a round graduated shape. Horizontal lines, vertical lines, sorry, tend to create square shapes. So we're creating something that is rounded in its form. Okay, so when we cut a vertical line, the tendency, and it's not, when we say a tendency, it's not set in stone, but it can be a lot squarer. So we could have cut this whole thing just pulling the hair out square, 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 but our graduation shape would tend to look a bit squarer and a bit harsher and a bit more angular. Whereas when we use a diagonal, diagonals create. Someone answer that in the comment section. What do diagonals create? And that's what it's it. This shape looks that way if we do it this way. So let's see that here in the comment section. Diagonals create. Pia was watching the football, getting bored, so here she is. Hello, Pia. Thanks for joining us. So hopefully that answers your question, Gabsy. If it does, let me know, and then if not, then I'll try and explain it a different way. But while we're doing that, we'll move on to this side. So a few options really, depending on what you softness, Jackie, good stuff. Softness, Gabsy, good stuff. So we get a softer shape through here if we use that diagonal line than if we use a vertical shape. Good stuff. Sandy, movement and softness, perfect. Exactly that. Right then. So with this top section now, a few choices really. I always like to, I don't know if you know, anyone of you watched me cut hair before. When it comes to the top section, I always like to kind of figure out what I'm doing with it before I start doing it, you know. So drop it down, give it a shake, you know, see if you like it. You know, we've got a pretty extreme asymmetric thing going on here. I mean, you know, if you wanted like loads of length and dry it curly and all that jazz, and she's got quite a short fringe, so you'd have to trim the fringe in. Softness, says Lisa, perfect, thank you. But you know, if you wanted to retain all that length, you just want to come over here and start sorting the fringe out, and you probably start sorting the fringe out by just being on the opposite side to the way you want the length, and over directing elevation to horizontal for softness, and just bash off the corner, you know, take the corner off, start working that fringe in so it sits a little bit better, so it sits a little bit more kind of sweepy like that. Taking your section, going through Human League, perfect. Not sure what that's referring to, but Sally. Thanks very much. Okay, so next section, elevation. Pulling the section over like this, elevating the section to horizontal to ensure softness. The haircut, Human League. Yes, got it. Totally now. Totally with you. Human League, yeah. Serious bit of disconnection. I like this one individual curl that it's got going on. Yeah, feeling that. Don't know why, I really like that curl. Quite attached to it. I mean, this looks quite nice. You know, this has got a nice vibe to it, hasn't it? You know, if a client had a bit of movement but wanted something a little bit more kind of, you know, extreme, you know, let that dry naturally and it would look fantastic. They'd be loving that. They'd be loving that. But, you know, let's stick with the program today. As much as I like to digress, what we're going to do through the back here, we're going to connect the back to the side. So I'm going to swap sides so you guys can see. Ouch. Ow, ow, ow. Just stubbed my toe, which was nice. Right then, so what we're going to do is we're going to take sections. We're going to take sections that run diagonally across the head from the parietal ridge to the opposite side. So I'll take one and I'll show you it. Okay, so from the parietal ridge diagonally across the head, I'm going to comb that hair back, and you can see that this hair is longer. So we're then going to come in body position in where we're about to cut it. Our section is going to be horizontal. We are going to over direct the hair to the line that we cut underneath, and if we can see a nice clear guideline, we're going to cut it off. And we're working around the head shape, so we're going to travel around the head shape. What we don't want to do is pull it down too far to meet the line, because we'll make it too heavy. Tony Candy, don't be sorry. Welcome. We're cutting a short, round, asymmetric graduation. That's what you've missed, a short, round, asymmetric graduation. But it's okay. So we're following the head shape round. We're following the head shape round with these sections. And we're following the same cutting line that we cut originally. Okay, perfect. Same again. Next section, from the parietal ridge across the head, like that. Down towards the opposite side. Separate the hair front to back. Stand with the body position where the hair is going to live naturally. Make sure that you can see your guideline clearly. And cut a square line. We're still building up the weight, okay, guys? You can see here, lots of weight in this shape. Look at it head on. Really, really triangular. Beautiful. Hold the section horizontally in your fingers, pull it out, cut a square line. Just like that. Now, if we pull our sections down too much, too low, we'll build up a little weight line. And I've just pulled this top section down a little bit too much. So I'm just going to pick it up, elevate my section, and just take off some of the weight of that corner. In fact, this is the last point at which I've not elevated it enough. Because if we don't elevate enough, we get a really strong weight line there. We've got to go back in and point cut to remove heavily. And we don't want to, cost ourselves that time really. We want this to be a nice, quick, easy haircut to do. Right, so, didn't mean to do that, but let's just reposition ourselves. So the section that I just took, this section, went from effectively the corner of her eye pretty much, right, through to the back of the ear, just there, like that. Okay, so we've got this section just like so. Now that is at the point at which we probably then wouldn't necessarily need to over direct. Oh, let's lower it down. It'd be good if you guys could see it. Okay, we wouldn't necessarily need to over direct any more of the sections if we wanted a more blended version of our Human League haircut. Okay, so if we want a more blended version, then we can just leave it like that. If we want to create more connection, we then simply keep over directing the hair back. So you decide, what would you like? Me to dry this smooth and refine it dry? Or would you like me to connect it all in now, wet, and dry it off? What would you like to do? You want me to dry it off and refine it dry like I would normally? Or do you want me to connect it in to the back, pulling everything back to that line, and then dry it off, and then we see what we're left with? What would you guys like to see? While we're thinking about that, I'll plug in my hairdryer. Connected, says Sandy. Refine later. Connected, please. I will just go with the average, the most highly requested. Dry it off. So we've got connected. Oh, connect it in wet. Oh, it's a tight one, this one. Is it similar to the one on YouTube you did, but symmetrical? Oh, good one, Sandy. You know what? I do forget what haircuts I've actually done now. Can't answer that one. Sandra Harwood says, Philly, okay. Dry it, says Karen J. I'm going to have to count these. Because they're divided by opinion by quite a long way. So I'm going to have a little count up. Sorry, everyone. I will be back. This is Paul. Got some great stuff coming. Back is still not 100%, even 50%. So I'm resting, watching the football. Hope you're well. Good, Paul. Thanks a lot, mate. Thanks for joining in. Hope you're all right. Hope you're enjoying the football, mate. Right, let's have a little count up here. Right, what we got here? So we've got refine later, please. That's a refine. Connect, equal. Connect's gone ahead. Dry it off. So that's equal now. Dry it. So that's gone ahead. Connect it wet, then dry it. So that's gone. We're leveling. Piers says connect it. So connect it's just gone ahead. Tony says connect it. Sandra says feel okay. I think, is that feel okay? Phil or Paul? I'm not sure. Dry it. Okay, so it's level. Piers come back in. Holy moly. It's a tie break. Guys. You're killing me. Someone come in and throw one out wet. Southern Girl says wet. Right then. So wet. What wet? Which one was wet? Connect it wet. I see. Right, got it. Dry. Pierce says. Oh, it's not helping. Pierce, stop. You're throwing the count off. You're confusing me, Pierre. Okay. Dry, says Lisa. Connect it dry. I think it's even, guys. I think you've created an even. I think we've got a deadlock. The next one, connect. Pia, stop it. Right. Someone but Pia, tell me. And the next one that comes in is going to be the winner. So as fast as you can, because I know Pia wants it connected. So as fast as you can, in the comments, what does Paul think? Connect it in dry, connect it in wet, Paul, now, or dry it and connect it in by refining it in. Dry. Hello to all the newbies. Yeah, good stuff, Paul. This is Paul, guys, that I was telling you about in the beginning. Right then, what we got? Who was the first one? Here we go. Not Pierre. The ones like Lisa says dry. Is that right? No. Yeah, Lisa was the first one. Connect wet. There's an argument going on. Dry, wet, dry. Oh dear. Okay, cool. I don't know what to do now. I'm totally confused. Dry, says Karen. What do you know the difference to why I would do it wet or dry? Does anybody know why you would do it differently? No, it's not that I want to dry it. No, actually, that's just my preference. But there is a reason that I would prefer to do it that way when I'm doing this in real life. What would that reason be? What would that reason be, do you think? Why would I prefer to do it? We won't judge wet or dry. No, it's fine. I know you're on, Gavin. It's fine. But why do you think I would prefer to dry a shape before I then go to refine it? To see the natural movement? Yes, exactly that. When you've got hair to play with, then you can cut it off when it's dry because the hair's in the root lift, the movement of the hair. Crikey. All of the things that are going to happen to the hair, you're going to see, especially if you don't dry it with too much volume. Dry and connect, says Paul. So that would be my preference. Now, because I do that all the time, look, I tell you what, because I do that all the time, because I do connect it, dry it all the time, I'm just going to do connect it in. And so the way you would connect it in is you would take a vertical section that is traveling, a diagonal forward section like that, and you would pull the hair back. So it's exactly right. The reason I would dry the hair first is to see the natural movement, and then I would be able to refine around the natural movement. But if you take off this hair, okay, before you dry the hair, if you need to make any adjustments for the fact that the hair is maybe, curly or jumping or whatever, you are then struggling a little bit with kind of correcting any of that stuff. Okay, so what we're going to do is when we pull these sections back, okay, when we pull these sections back, we're going to make sure that we can clearly see our guideline, just like so. We can see our guideline just like that. But what we don't want to do, and this is kind of best of both worlds, guys, this is why I'm doing this. What I don't want to do is actually 100% connect it to this short hair underneath. I'm pulling it past the graduation and I'm cutting a square line so that the front will effectively still be slightly disconnected from the back. So this reduces some of the length and the bulk of the hair, but not all of it. So as we get to this front section, we're going to pull the hair straight back like that and cut a nice square line. So this is a bit of both. This is connected and disconnected simultaneously, because it will leave me a little bit of room afterwards when I've dried it to refine and make sure that I'm happy with my outline shape, etc. But also when you do it wet like this, you do cut in a more definite shape into the haircut. Okay, and that is something that is, you don't get the softness of having that top disconnected. So hopefully that helps, or not. Right then, nozzle off. for wrap drying purposes, nozzle off, paddle brush. Okay, so we're going to work from the back to the front. I'm going to put the dryer in a minute, so you probably won't be elbow cough. Yeah, like that. I'm in my spare room. I don't have to elbow cough. It's fine. There's nobody in here. She can't catch my cough. Right then, so nozzle off to start with. We'll put the nozzle back on to refine. When we wrap drying, we're aiming the airflow at the roots, and we're pushing the hair in all directions it can travel, front, back, forward, whichever way. Great way of drying the hair. Gets 0 root lift, but we need to dry it to be able to refine it. If you put volume in it and the client then doesn't put volume in it, there's no point in refining it. His comments are making me laugh. So nozzle on now, full heat, because it's a mannequin head. I'm going to flatten it down a bit, but you know, the nozzle. Right, a little bit of styling going on there. The old round brush, just to sort of give it a bit of je ne sais quoi. Apparently in French, that means I don't know what. Said that in a video once. That made me laugh so much. So many people comment saying it doesn't mean I don't know what. Good evening, Kuro. So can you use a round brush? Was a question that I saw earlier before you all started commenting on how rough I am with my clients. Mazami, you can use a round brush, but you need to be careful. If you put volume in it and the client doesn't wear it with volume, if you refine a strong line into the perimeter, or you kind of refine it in a way that's going to be geometric, then your client won't see all that beautiful refining that you put in. So be aware of how the client styles it. If they're going to use a round brush, go for it. Use a round brush, no worries. God, you were making me laugh when you were saying how rough I was being with the client. Good stuff. Right then, so in terms of refinement, not a lot to do really this evening, I don't think. Kind of like it. Looks good. Come in. You can always come in, check your horizontal shape, your vertical shape horizontally. A little bit of light scissor over comb, just to make sure that you've got no finger marks. What's the golden rule of scissor over comb? One golden rule to scissor over comb. What is it, guys? Someone throw it in the comments. If you don't know, just put don't know. That's all right. You're allowed not to know. It's okay. Don't know is an answer. If you don't know, you don't know. You can always use a bit of scissor over comb as well, just to taper down the edge at the bottom here, just to make it sit a bit tighter. Keep them parallel. That's very good. Keep the comb moving. Definitely, 100%. Karen's giving me some question marks. One golden rule. It doesn't matter how fast your scissors go. So if your scissors are going at 1 mile an hour, or, just very slow. Let me zoom in. There we go. Sandy's gone in for the kill. She's got the winner. Your scissors, your comb needs to go... your scissors need to move twice as fast as your comb. So you can go as slow as you like, but your comb and your scissors need to go exactly twice the speed. Your scissors need to move exactly twice the speed your comb does, or faster if you can move it faster. But you need to be able to move your scissors twice the speed the comb can move at. And that is it, basically. The more you do that, the more machine-like. Keep the comb moving, always moves quicker than the comb. Keep the comb moving, the comb always moves quicker than the comb. I don't know why, but that's playing my mind. It's like that's like a tongue twister to me. So elevate the hair. Always make sure the hair is elevated, and then keep the scissors moving at twice the rate of the comb. Now you don't always have to keep the comb moving. Oh right, scissors, not the comb, blonde. Yeah, okay, cool, got it. You don't always have to keep the comb moving. What you have to make sure is the hair is elevated. Right, the hair has to be elevated. So if I cut this hair now, like that, okay, the hair is in an elevated position. If I put that back down, this hair is soft. There is a slight weight line there, okay? So the bit that I cut is soft, but at the top of the section is where the weight built up. So you can use a non-moving cutting action to remove specific areas of bulk and weight. You just need to be mindful of that particular movement. Who likes scissor over comb? If you like it, put love it, and if you don't love it, put meh or blah. If you like it, put love it. If you don't love it, put blah. Love it, love it. Agreed. Let's have a look. Mozama said something. Here we go. Mozama, what is the difference between clipper over comb and scissor over comb? Good. Always find it too difficult. Good question. Agreed, Mozama. Far easier than. Well, let me get my clippers out. See if I've got any charge on them. Oh, I have. Look at that. We can talk about that. What a result. And then we've got Meh from Lisa Lewis. We've given a heart from Love It, Love It, Love It. Did my first few years ago, enjoyed it, love it. Meh from Sandy, love it. Love it. Always, it's a barber technique. Exactly, Christos. Only because haven't quite mastered it. Well, it's like everything, isn't it? But hate skin fades. Love it. Good, Frida. Hi, Frida. Clipper over comb. Same technique, really. Just clippers are obviously a little bit more powerful and, can quickly remove quite a lot more hair. But the same rules apply. You've got to keep the clippers moving faster than the comb. In fact, probably even a little faster than the kind of even a little faster than the rate that we were just talking about. Probably 3 times the speed, just because they cut off so much more hair in a shorter space of time. But just use clipper over comb and scissor over comb, and to remove a little bit of the weight in this area and help that to kind of sit in a little bit more graphically and gives the shape a little bit more of a stronger geometric feel through the sides there. Do the front here, we've got a couple of choices. We can have like a square shape, or we can have a soft point around the front. We can cut it up over the ear and have like a very strong shape. I'm torn between leaving it and cutting it square. So you let me know. Leave it or cut it square. Square or leave it. Leave it, leave it, leave it. Cut it square. Oh God, there's going to be a debate again. There's going to be a debate. I can see this all going pear shape. Lisa, if you do clipper over comb properly, you can blunt your clippers. Leave it square. Oh my God. Right, hold on a minute. 1. Right, I'm gonna have to count up. Leave it, square it, square it. We've got 2. Leave it, square it, leave it, square it, leave it, leave it, leave it, square it. There's 2 more leave it's to square it at the moment. So leave it's 1. Leave it's 1. That's it. Leave it's 1, that one. It's staying soft. Now I've blow dried a bit of a curl into the front of this one. Square just to see a bit more technique. Take it around the air, leave a point. Okay, cool. Let's just give this a little shake and see what this is doing. Just to this is how I regularly get my clients to style their hair. I just say jump up and I'll tip you upside down and shake your hair out. And you thought I was being rough earlier. If anyone wants to know, it's now 2-1 to England. Holy moly, Tony. Tell you what I'm going to do with the side, just for fun, just because we're all here. Right, I'm going to cut it square, and then I'm going to cut it back into a point. And then you guys can tell me which one you preferred. Now, the thing about cutting it square, right? thing about cutting it square through here is that our weight line now is lower than our previous haircut. So we now need to adjust the weight line. So I'm going to show you how we do that, yeah? We're going to come in to the point at which we've just cut our square line. We're going to come in to the point, just make sure that it's better, yeah. Right, we're going to come in at the point to which we've just cut our square line, tap the hair down, and we're going to cut a line we see now the line is now traveling into the graduation. Okay, we're now going to scissor over comb up to the line. And now our line runs into our graduation, like so. Okay. Now, if we wanted to go back to a point, now when people are cutting around people's ears, I always think that this is quite a tricky thing to do sometimes. Some people find this a bit tricky. So, and here's my tips, okay? Use the point of your scissors to refine your line, just like so. So take away some of the hair and then come back in and point cut away. And then once you get to the top of the ear, you need to then come to the back of the ear and work your way back up towards the top of the ear. And again, we've got a weighted corner here. Lift it up, angle the comb back towards the graduation at the back, and just soften it in. Okay. Yeah, you might snip her ear. That's a very good point. That is a very good point. But if it was a client, I'd probably pin her ear down. But, you know, she doesn't need her ears pinning down, this girl, because they are flat to her head. Okay, so you've seen it all now. You've seen it over here, square, and then round. Beautiful. Yeah, I've still got a cough, but I haven't got COVID because I've done loads of tests and and it's not COVID. So it's just a stupid cough. but I've got a week left lung. I've got a big scar on this lung. And so if I get a cold, it really, really lingers. Right, bit of hairspray, I think. The old fringe, keep the old fringe up. I love a bit of pruning. You know what I mean? I just love it. So this corner on the back here just needs a little bit of tweaking. Can you see there's like a gap there? Just come in, scissor over comb up to your weight line just to shorten the distance between. You're not going to completely remove that, but you're just going to make it look a little bit more succinct. Just like that. And that is today's tutorial. So let's just check these comments, see if I've missed anything. Love the cut. Thank you guys. Lovely, lovely. I'm now on LinkedIn as a mobile hairdresser. Yay! Nice one, Tony. Congrats, well done. What we got here? Lots of congratulations for Tony. Mind here. Yeah, you know, I'm a bit brutal like that, aren't she? Good stuff. Thank you very much. Round is also beautiful. Good. Super sticker. Oh, thank you, Tony. Huge superstar. Much appreciated. And then we've got Karen. Thank you very much. I haven't been putting these up tonight because it's just been me doing all the cutting and comparing. Wish mine looked like the left side. Tony ? Good. Right. Well, let's just take that down and then put that into its. Oh, there's a fly. Into its side parting. So we did the side a couple of different ways. We then blended. Oh, keep going. Keep spinning. We then cut that graduated shape into the nape here, down into the bottom, bit of clipper over comb, bit of scissor over comb, down into this heavier left-hand side. Styled it with a little bit of a bend in it. Yeah, it's much appreciated, Tony. It's really, really appreciated. Thank you for the super sticker. And then a little bit of a bend in the old styling just for fun with the old round brush. And that's it. That is my nostalgic throwback haircut to my trade test in London when I very first went into London to get a job. And this is the haircut that I did, more or less. And hope you liked it. Can't wait to do more of these lives with you guys. I'll always appreciate the support and love you guys bring. And until next time, peace, love, smiles, happiness, all that jazz. All those people that people say, those slick people that do these lives and say slick things. I don't ever feel like I'm very slick, but I hope you enjoy it, and it's massively appreciated. The newbies, the people who turn up each and every week, you all mean the world to me. And I'll see you on Paul's channel next week. I think probably send him this. Maybe should we send him this head? See if he can colour some hair next week. I don't know how Paul will be next week, but let's fingers crossed he's back with us at some stage soon. If not, it will just be back with me until Paul is fit enough for the to be back and into action. But I hope you can put up with that. And until then, guys, look after yourselves. Be safe, be sane. See you soon. What colour is she going to be? That'll be up to Paul if he colours it. We'll keep you up to date. Right then. Good night, all.